I used to be an English teacher, and as such, I had a really important job. I saw my work as a way of inoculating people against propaganda, understanding language well enough to know how it can be used both to create beauty and to mislead and manipulate, and to be able to tell the difference. The amount of access I had to a future generation of people, and the impact that my work could have, backed up by the authority of parents and school administrators and other teachers, meant that I was in a really powerful position. Going from there to being a YouTuber for Squid Paintball, the Nintendo game, has always been at least in the back of my mind. It's only because I see valuable things to teach people besides just game mechanics and strategies that I'm doing this at all. In part, it's because I see value in playing the game the way we do, and trying to use it as a testing ground for bettering yourself. Beyond self-improvement, though, another important aspect of this game to me is community. A lot of people don't immediately recognize the value of community, because when school starts, they automatically have a robust community and lots of interaction with it, from early childhood some of the way into adulthood. It's often only once people graduate from high school or whatever level of secondary education they reach that they realize how much harder it is to meet new people and make friends without community. How easy it can be to feel adrift in the world, how possible it is to be disconnected from and ignorant to what's happening in their physical space. A sociologist named Ray Oldenburg argued for the importance of what he called third places in a well-known book called The Great Good Place. A person's first place is their home, while their second place is where they work or are otherwise occupied, like, for example, school. The third place is a place like a coffee shop, a public library, a gym, an arcade, a pool hall, a barber shop, a dog park, even something as simple as the front stoop where people know to find you. Some place where people go to informally relax in public and talk to each other. Feeling relaxed and talking to each other is just physically good for our health. And it's a situation that helps us talk things out, process our feelings, come up with solutions to problems, learn from and help each other. Finding a place we can go to that will reliably give us that experience is really important, and technological progress has not necessarily made these spaces more abundant. Having a common interest, like a competitive game that everyone plays, is a great mechanism by which to create these needed spaces and interact with other people. Even without face-to-face interaction, chilled-out stream chats where the regulars all know each other, or Discord servers for game discussions, can be third places. But at in-person events, we unlock so much more potential for human connection. I played Super Smash Bros. Melee for a long time, as many of you know, and that game came out in 2001, so it's only online because of a mod that Nintendo doesn't want you to know about called Slippy. I've had someone drive 2 hours out of their way to pick me up for a Smash tournament. I've driven on multi-state road trips for tournaments and stayed in hotel rooms with people who were strangers before and became friends afterward. The people who helped me move out of my 5th floor dorm room using only the steps to get up and down from the room to the car in the desert heat were Smash players. Cody, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. It was a recommendation from a friend from the Smash community that got me an interview for my second teaching job. And it was a Smash player's ex-girlfriend who ended up dating someone at Bravis that brought my name up and got them to reach out and interview me for that job. People have met and fallen in love through the Smash community, and then organized a Smash tournament as a part of the wedding celebration to give back to the community that brought them to their person. In my experience, Splatoon has felt alive like this, but with the exception of times I've gone to LANs, it's always been muted by the lack of physical interaction. That's not to talk down to the people who are trying to create healthy online spaces, because some of them are doing amazing work. One streamer I really admire for this is DDIP. In their stream chat, I always feel like the focus is on the space, on the community, on the people, more than anything else, and there are regulars who get what it's about and everyone is welcome. But people are wired to look each other in the eye, to use body language, to bond with people who are physically immediate to them. We can't get that entire experience online. LANs aren't easy to set up. To even have a reason to build one, you need at least 8 people in your local area. You need a space that'll fit everything that's willing to open itself up to you. And you need 8 Switch consoles with docks and a network setup of some kind, and monitors, and ideally audio mixers and headsets. It's a lot to pull together. Many people don't even really know who lives near them that plays. I went to a GameStop once to buy a Pro Controller, and only then found out that the guy working the counter played for one of the Splat-A-Lot teams. There are some local TOs running LANs out there, and if you live in the cities that have them, definitely go support them. But for the most part, the only LANs they can reasonably expect to attend are majors, and those just aren't frequent enough, not to mention being too expensive, to be a person's third place. I think this is something we can fix if we really want to. The Smash tournaments I ran in college depended on people to lug old CRT TVs to the campus through a door I had to manually scan them into for anyone who wasn't a student and up 3 flights of stairs, and people were willing to do that. Old school LANs for games like Quake and CS involved bringing entire computers into people's basements to set up to each other. Where there's a will, there's a way. It just has to be organized by someone. One solution that's seen significant success lately is the growth of high school and collegiate teams through local athletics governing bodies or organizations like the CCA or Play Versus. This gives people a group identity to attach to and a reason to develop bonds with the players around them while still using the online functionality of the game. A similar kind of recreational program for adults would be a cool addition if someone were willing to take that up as a project. I'm a little uncomfortable about the ambition of Play Versus and their tendency to pursue exclusivity agreements as well as in their relationship to Nintendo. I won't deny that their program has brought a lot of people together and provided them an experience participants pretty widely enjoy, but if Nintendo gain too much control, I truly think they will limit the potential of the space. My biggest complaint about Nintendo, as a company, is just that I don't think that the company sees the communities built around playing their games competitively for what they are. I'm sure there are individuals, especially on the Nintendo of America side, who have been reached out to and heard about us, but the company's actions and reactions have never supported community growth as much as they've supported the interests of shareholders. Yes, it's great to have our World Championship events and the qualifiers leading up to them, but the rule sets are written by outsiders, by people who don't know us and don't follow our conventions. Nintendo doesn't use their platforms to publicize community events or interact with our brands. They don't financially support our majors, and if anything, their presence at the majors only puts us on edge. The Big House was one of the more communicative and cooperative Smash and Splatoon tournaments with Nintendo, but it was the one that got shut down over the use of Slippy because organizers rightly refused to run an in-person tournament during the pandemic. It's the opinion of many Smash organizers right now that the best relationship to Nintendo is one where they know little about us and leave us alone. Business is business, but if you're not doing business and amassing capital for the purpose of doing something valuable with that capital, I'm not on board with your business. We can do better than making money for the purpose of making money. Why not make money for the purpose of making something cool? Grassroots competitive Nintendo gaming communities have already built so much without the help of, or even in spite of, the multi-billion-dollar corporation that made the games they play. There's just so much more we could do to take these pieces of software they've given us and weave our lives together with them. It doesn't seem like Nintendo are as interested in that kind of a project. I can kind of understand why it might not seem as eye-catching or important to them. One of the best examples of a third-place gaming space is the Card Shop, the cheap-looking strip mall store where people come to play Magic the Gathering or tabletop games like Dungeons & Dragons or Warhammer. The people who run those establishments are some of the absolute pillars of their local communities. They are anchors for everyone around them, true leaders, a source of public good. But it's easy not to see that if you're not looking for it. It doesn't seem especially glamorous, like the kind of thing that would draw headlines the way the Mario movie or theme parks will. If even some resources could go toward building more of those kinds of spaces to making a third place where Splatoon players could go, Nintendo would immediately have lifelong fans, and those regulars would have personal needs met in a way it's hard to find anywhere right now. On a smaller scale, I would have loved for them to support the work of organizations like Splat Safety and its inspiration, the now disbanded Smash Code of Conduct panel, to really show a human interest in our safety. I'm not expecting this to happen. Like I said, I don't think Nintendo will share this vision anytime soon. And for now, I just want them to leave us alone and let us operate independently. But if we don't ever even try to imagine how things could be better, I don't think they'll ever get better. If you can imagine a way to build more of a community around this game, I'd encourage you to go for it. I still put the Smash tournaments I ran in college on my resume because building that event from a 5 to 10 player weekly to a 150 player weekly is legitimately one of my proudest accomplishments, and one that taught me foundational lessons that have served me in every quote-unquote real job I've undertaken since. If you attend someone's events, support them. Offer help and advice. Proactively reach out to new players who are dipping their toes in and getting their bearings and are too nervous and intimidated to approach you. It may seem like more of a time investment than you signed on for, but remember that nothing you enjoy doing with your friends is ever really a waste of time.